Great day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and for today, we are going to start the discussion of practical research upon question.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Great day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and for today, we are going to start the discussion of practical research 2. This is upon the request of many of my subscribers who have watched my discussion on practical research 1. Thank you so much for your continuous support. And yeah, I will be doing a discussion of practical research 2 by module, unlike the first one where I have discussed the full module in one sitting. So this one will be per module because practical research 2 is a much more advanced discussion and exploration of practical research. So yeah, to start off, just to let you know, for those who have not watched any of my research discussions yet, I would like to assure you that what I will be discussing are based from my experiences in research, in the field of research. I have presentations, both local and international. I have also published a research online. You can check it out on Google Scholar and as well as a Journal of Advanced Management and Science. So, great day, everyone. This one will be per module because practical research 2 is a much more advanced discussion and exploration of practical research. So, yeah, to start off, just to let you know, for those who have not watched any of my research discussions yet, I would like to assure you that what I will be discussing are based from my experiences in research, in the field of research. I have presentations, both local and international. I have also published a research online. You can check it out on Google Scholar, and as well as a Journal of Advanced Management and Science. So I would like to assure you that what we will be discussing here are based on my research knowledge. Okay, and we are actually doing this based from the most essential learning competencies or MILCs issued by DepEd. Okay, so trust that we will be discussing this in detail uh, as comprehensive as possible. Okay, so to start, under the first module, we are about to discuss nature of inquiry and research. So that's the first part. Okay, so first let's define what is a quantitative research. Uh, I have discussed this already in my previous videos, and I'm sure if I'm speaking to grade 12 students, more or less, they have an idea what quantitative research is. So more or less, this is just a review of what you already know. Okay, but we will be touching on some points that may have not been covered during your lessons in practical research. So when we say quantitative, from the term itself, it means quantity. Okay, we're talking of numbers. Okay, we're talking of numerical data. In Tagalog or in vernacular, numbers, numero. Okay, bilang. Okay, so quantitative research, it is the process of collecting, analyzing numerical data. So we're talking of numbers. And it can be used to find patterns and averages, make predictions, test causal relationships, and generalize results to wider populations. Quantitative research is the opposite of qualitative. So again, we have discussed the difference of the two in practical research one, right? So when you say qualitative research, you are not focused on the numerical side, but rather on the qualitative aspect. Okay, you're trying to get the essence, or you're trying to get data which are simply non-quantifiable, or in Tagalog, hindi mo kayang bilangin. Okay? It involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data like text, videos, or audio. That's why if you will be doing a qualitative research, oftentimes than not, the method of data collection is through an interview. Okay, you will be interviewing the person to gather data. Whereas when you will be using quantitative research, you will use a questionnaire. Okay, because you have to count, you have to process the data and apply statistical inference on that data. So quantitative research is widely used in the natural and social sciences like biology, chemistry, psychology, economics, sociology, marketing, etc. and etc. So napakalawak ng application of quantitative research. Practically any field that takes advantage of data through numbers. Okay? When we also say quantitative research, it uses scientifically collected and statistically analyzed data to investigate observable phenomena. So, we are gathering data. Okay? Kumukuha tayo ng data and then out of that data, we are trying to process it statistically, trying to check what is there a phenomena or is there something that we can make out of these numbers? Kasi, again, when you say numbers, black and white, it does not have meaning. Okay? It's just purely numbers, zeros and ones. But out of that number is a person, no? Someone who processes the data and gives meaning and tries to understand it. Okay? So that's where the quantitative research plays a significant role. Okay? A phenomenon is any existing or observable fact or situation that we want to unearth, makita, madiskubre, okay? Further understand. Okay? Bakit mas maraming matanda sa Japan? Bakit mas malaki ang ratio ng female over male in Russia? Okay? Bakit mas maraming mga bata at sobrang matanda sa Africa? Why is there a gap in the Middle Age? Okay? So, those are just some of the examples that you try to understand. No? You look at the numbers, bakit ganito yung sinasabi ng data? What does it mean? Yan. So, it is scientific for the fact that it uses a scientific method in designing and collecting numerical data. Then once the data is collected, it will undergo statistical analysis. So, dyan papasok yung statistical application. Oftentimes, it's placed in chapter 4. Um, if you're following an IMRAD format, it's going to be in the methodology. Okay. And then some of the common statistical tests that we use are Pearson R's, t-test, analysis of variance or ANOVA. Okay, we are going to go in detail with these items further down the line when we complete practical research too. Since data is analyzed statistically, it is imperative that the data obtained must be numerical and quantifiable. Again, quantifiable, nabibilang, okay, in quantity. Hence the name quantitative research. So, just to give you a quick summary or a glimpse no, para makita natin yung difference between a quantitative and a qualitative research. Okay? When you're shown a research, when you say quantitative, it's numerical. When it's qualitative, it's categorical. Okay? For example, of numerical or quantitative research, the number of COVID patients. Yan, every day we are given data by DOH, by IATF, how many people have had the sickness. Okay? So yan, nabibilang? Yes. In fact, puro numbers ngayon makikita natin in the internet, social media, etc. When you say qualitative, okay, categorical. Yes, there is a rating, but this is something that is subjective. Okay? Yung happiness ko may not be your happiness, vice versa. Okay? And syempre, para ma-compute mo to, in order for you to be able to categorize them, kasi we're talking of categorical data, you're going to use a rating scale. Okay? Next, height and weight of grade 12 students. This is something that plays numericals, okay, numbers, height and weight. Qualitative, emotional state of pwede rin grade 12 students. Okay? Can you count them? Can you count the emotional state? No. We are talking of categories. Are you depressed? Are you feeling emotional? Are you angry? Categories, okay? Quantitative, profit and losses of business. Of course, you're talking of numbers. Kita, mataas, mababa. Okay? Qualitative, customer satisfaction among businesses. Yan. While there is a customer satisfaction rate where the rating is translated into numbers, customer satisfaction can also be in the form of stars, no? Diba? When you order online, no? Give me 5 stars, give me 4 stars. Okay? Give me a positive review. Okay? Yung mga ganun, ano? Yeah, this is a very common trend nowadays. So yan, binabasa natin yung, before we buy something, binabasa natin yung mga feedback and reviews of people. Customer satisfaction yun, ano? Are they happy? Are they sad? Okay? Distance between two cities, of course. This is quantitative. You're talking of distance, number. And then qualitative, your example would be different lockdown measures among cities. So yan, magkakaiba yan, ano? Some, well, let's say you are in NCR plus, you can only travel within the bubble. When you go into the city, iba yung patakaran nila, no? Iba yung lockdown measure nila. You cannot count that. It's not quantitative, it's qualitative. Magkakaiba. So, sample topics, you would have an idea of the difference between quantitative and qualitative. Okay? So, let's talk now of characteristics of quantitative research. And this is one of the common questions of students. Ano? Ilan po ba yung sample? I have discussed this in practical research. One, that you have to ask this with your advisors. Okay? Because sometimes there will be cases wherein they will give you a higher sample size, a lower sample size, or they are going to follow convenient sampling because of the current situation. Let's say you're on lockdown, hindi ka pwedeng lumabas, you don't have enough finances to carry this out, so binabawasan, ano? That's understandable, okay? But and this is something that I could recommend. You can go to this website. This is reosoft.com, and then it will help you identify the sample size. So let me try to show you that. Let me end the presentation quickly. And then here, this is reosoft.com, and then you can see the fields that you would have to fill out. So what is the margin of error that you can accept? So technically, wala ka nang babaguhin dito. 5% is a common choice. What's the confidence level? 95. Yes, wag mo nang palitan yan. Ano? The typical choices would be 90, 95, or 99%. Makikita natin yan ano, when we study the statistical portion of practical research. And then what is the population size? No, what is your assumption? No, if you do not know, sabi dito, use 20,000. Okay, so for example, let's try to play with the numbers here. No? So again, we are going to keep the margin of error at 5% and the confidence level at 95%. And then we can keep this population size at 20,000. Okay. What is the response of distribution? Okay. 50 percent. Okay. And this is 377. Kung 20,000 daw ang iyong population size, your number of respondents, meaning yung dapat sumagot ng survey mo ay 377. What if, let's say, population of grade 12 senior high school students in my school? So for example lang, I would just be making up numbers. Let's say, meron tayong 150. Okay? 150 senior high school students. Okay? In the school. So what is going to be my sample size? My sample size now is 109. Okay? Yung 109 na yan, that's already safe with 5% margin of error. and 95% confidence level. So see, this calculator is very helpful and will help you easily identify what's the sample size para hindi na kayo nalilito, no? Para hindi na kayo pabalik-balik sa teacher nyo and asking, paano po ba, ilan po ba yung dapat namin isurvey? Okay? So this is something that you can do. So, let me go back to my presentation. Okay? So, that's the first characteristic. There should be a large sample size. Okay? To obtain more meaningful statistical results. Okay? Second, data gathering results are done accurately. It should be objective. Okay? I just put this in the full screen. It should be objective. Results are done accurately, objectively, and are unaffected by the research intuition and personal guesses. Ito yung binabanggit natin in the past na dapat wala kang bias, right? There should be no bias in conducting the research. What does it mean when you say there is a bias? Meron ka agad ikaw sariling uh, prejudice or judgment. Okay? Let's say you are trying to identify the buying habits of senior high school students. So you conducted the research. Pero deep inside you, meron ka na kaagad sariling husga. No? Meron ka na kaagad sariling intuition. Of course, wala namang, we hindi naman natin sasabihin na 100% dapat wala kang intuition or sarili mong guesses. But if you have those, it should not manifest in your research. Hindi dapat siya mag-manifest or makita sa research na parang meron kang kinikilingan. 'Di ba? Sinasabi nga ng isang popular network, walang kinikilingan, walang kinakampihan. Ganun din dapat tayo sa research, Dapat you are balanced. You are unbiased. Wala kang kinakampihan or pinapanigan na side. You are really there to try to unearth, sabi kanina, to determine what is the real answer. Okay? Hindi yung habang sinusulat mo yung research mo, lumalabas yung sarili mong judgment, yung tingin mo. No? Hindi tayo dapat gano'n. Okay? It should be objective. Third, visual result presentation. Data is numerical, which makes presentation through graphs, charts, and tables possible and for better conveyance and interpretation. So this is something that I am teaching also in business analytics, okay? Data visualization. So yan, marami kang pwedeng gamitin. You have graphs, you have pie charts, horizontal, vertical bar graphs, okay? You have heat maps, pyramids, so on and so forth, no? Bubble charts, etc. Why do we have to use graphs? Diba sa chapter 4, graphs are being used to present data. Okay? We have to assume that not everyone who will be reading our research are numerically or mathematically inclined. Hindi lahat ng magbabasa ng research mo ay to use the term magaling sa math or mahilig sa math, no? So some of them will have a hard time understanding the numbers, okay? But they need your research kasi they want to find out the answers too. They are interested in your topic. So how would you help them read it? Through the use of visual presentation. And of course, mas madali kapag you are going to use visual presentation. Like, without looking at the explanation, if I see that this is the chart, 80%, tapos ganito, no? Mayroon siyang yung parang red na naka-fill. Okay. So, ganun pala kadami ang nag-yes, tapos itong dilaw nag-no. Okay? So, through visualized data, alam mo na kaagad. Isang tingin mo pa lang sa chart, you already know that ganun pala karami, 80%. Alright? O di kaya you are looking through a time series, you are looking to vertical graph. Okay? Ay, tumaas siya nung ganitong time, tapos bumaba, tapos tumaas ulit. Alright? So, kahit hindi ka magaling sa number, even if you don't look at the numbers black and white, the data, just by looking at the graph, you would already have an idea what is the result, no? Meron ka na kagad ideya what's the result. So that's the beauty of also presenting your data visually or using data visualization techniques. Okay? Paggamit ng charts and all. For example, sa America, when they vote by states. Okay? So, makikita mo kagad, ilang states yung bumoto for this candidate and ilang states yung bumoto for that candidate. Right? Kaya nga sa Pilipinas, 'di ba, meron tayong sinasabi, partido ni ganito yung ganyang lugar, right? Meaning marami ang bumoto sa kanya for that place. Okay? So, that's another example. So, another characteristic of quantitative research is that the data analysis is faster. Of course, dahil numbers lang siya, it's going to be much more faster. The use of statistical tools give way for a less time-consuming data analysis. The fact of the matter is, quantitative is easier as compared to qualitative because with qualitative, you don't have numbers, you have data that cannot be counted. So talagang it's going to consume time in order for you to analyze data. Okay? But with quantitative research, it's easier rather because you're just going to use numerical data. And there are tools and softwares that you can use to make the data analysis much more faster. Number five, generalized data. That's another characteristics of quantitative research. When you say generalized, one sample, kagaya nung kanina, no? Let's say 105. Yung 105 out of 150 already represents the entire population. Okay? So for example, how I explain this is in this way. For example, meron kang sakit, right? Kukunin ka ng dugo. Pag kinunan ka ba ng dugo, isang balde yung kukunin sa'yo, isang timba? Hindi naman, di ba? Para masabi that you have an infectious disease or you have that disease. Sample lang ang kinukuha, di ba? Swab test o di kaya blood analysis. No? Why? Because yung ganun kaliit na sample ng dugo is enough to tell that you have a sickness in your body. Ganun din sa when you are talking of populations sampling. Kagaya nung pinakita ko sa inyo kanina, out of 20,000 300 plus pwede magsagot and that would already represent the entire population. Pwede mo nang masabi, makuha yung pulso nila just by getting the sample size. So, ganun yung kagandahan ng quantitative research. No? You can easily generalize. Fast data collection, of course. Karugtong siya nito. No? You don't need to survey 20,000 people. Okay? You're just going to get the sample and then you would be done. No? So that's faster, of course, because you don't need to cover it entirely. And then apart from that, you can use standardized research instruments. There are instruments available. You just have to search them online or in published researches and journal. Tapos, you would just have to reference them properly, okay, in your research. Next, reliable data. The data is taken and analyzed objectively from a sample as a representative of the population, making it more credible and reliable. So when you talk of quantitative research, since you're talking of numbers, reliable siya. And it's going to help people in the government to make policies, decision makers, get people from the government, administrators, so on and so forth. And then replication is easier with quantitative methods. Can be repeated to verify findings, enhancing its validity, free from false or immature conclusions. So of course, mas madali siyang i-replicate, meaning i-publish ng mas madami or in greater quantities because again, this is a quantitative research. Okay? And when we talk of strengths of quantitative research, I'll just run through them. Quantitative research can be replicated or repeated. Nabanggit natin kanina. Findings are generalizable to the population. Yes. Conclusive establishment of a cause and effect. Causal, numerical, and quantifiable data can be used to predict outcomes. Fast and easy data analysis using statistical softwares. You can use SPSS, you can use Excel, napakadaming pwedeng gamitin. Ano? Fast and easy data gathering, very objective, validity and reliability can be established. And then finally, let's go to the kinds of quantitative research. So, alam na natin what quantitative research is all about. And alam natin yung difference niya from a qualitative research. Okay? Ngayon, marami kasing types of quantitative research and we have to know what type of quantitative research are we pertaining to. Okay? Generally, there are five. So first, we have what you call as the descriptive. Ito yung pinaka-common na ginagamit. I'm sure most of you are using descriptive research. Descriptive is used to describe a particular phenomenon. So very descriptive siya, describing by observing it as it occurs in the nature. There is no experiment manipulation. So hindi mo kailangan mag-experiment. You're just going to gather data. That's it. Okay? And then the researcher does not start with a hypothesis. So your hypothesis is not required. In fact, some research now no longer use hypothesis. Okay? Just assumptions. Okay? Because again, we are trying to eliminate bias from research. Okay, the goal of descriptive research is only to describe the person or object on the study. From the term itself, descriptive, yun lang yung goal niya. No? So, ano yung example niyan? The determination of the different kinds of physical activities and how often high school students do it during the quarantine period. So yan, example yan ng isang descriptive quantitative research. Why? So you're going to describe what are the different kinds of physical activities and how often, gaano kadalas. You're talking of frequency. How often. So, very basic, descriptive quantitative research. Next, we have correlational. So what does it mean when we say correlational? From the term itself, relation. You are looking for a relation between a dependent and independent variable. There are two variables. Okay? Identify the relationship between the variables. Data is collected by observation since it does not consider the cause and effect. And for example, the relationship between the amount of physical activity done and student academic achievement. So yan, you have a dependent variable and an independent variable. And you are looking if there is a relationship, if there is a significance, is there an impact, is there a cause and effect. Okay? The relationship of teenagers' sense of humor with positive psychological capacity. So this is an example of quantitative correlational research. So, sasabihin mo, bakit sir? Asan ang numbers dyan? You're going to count the number of teenagers. Ilang teenagers daw na merong sense of humor ang merong positive psychological capacity. So, you're going to quantify them. And you're going to look out of the 100 teenagers na merong sense of humor, ilan sa kanila ang merong positive psychological capacity. Pag marami yung nakuha mo, there is a significant relationship. Kapag ka mababang number, there is no significant relationship. I hope naintindihan din yun. Ano? That's an example of a quantitative correlational study. Next, ex post facto. From the term itself, post facto, after the fact. Okay? Post facto is used to investigate a possible relationship between previous events, historical events, and present condition. Ikukumpara mo siya sa present. Historical, you compare it to the present. Okay? The term ex post facto means after the fact looks at the possible causes of an already occurring phenomenon. So yan, example ng ex post facto, yung common nowadays na because of the lockdown, the pandemic, what happens with teenagers? They're feeling depressed. They are having emotional issues, emotional breakdowns. No? Yan, example yan ng ex post facto. Okay? How does the parents' academic achievement, nakaraan yan, achievement ng parents affect the children's obesity? May kinalaman daw ba yung parents' achievement? Pag mas mayaman ba yung parent, mas obese yung bata? So on and so forth. Okay? Yan, example yan ng ex post facto quantitative research. Next, quasi-experimental. It has cause and effect relationship of variables. It also has lesser validity due to the absence of random selection and assignment of subjects. In the field of research, pag sinabi mong quasi, it means almost but not. Okay? Almost but not. Halos pero hindi pa rin. Okay? Ano yung halos? Halos experimental na siya but it's not 100% experimental. Kaya ang tawag ay quasi-experimental. Ano yung example niyan? The effects of unemployment on attitude towards following safety protocols in ECQ declared areas. So yan, um, you are going to talk of the effects of unemployment and into their attitude. Okay? So, why? Is it going to be an experimental study? Yes, of course, because it might require for you to do sets of research or subjects with different backgrounds, Kasi hindi naman lahat ng areas pare-pareho ng ECQ protocols no? At hindi lahat ng areas pare-pareho ng employment and unemployment rate. So it might require you to do a quasi-experimental, meaning you're going to do an experiment, okay? Or you're going to segregate people. O kayo po yung mga unemployed, sige, lalagay po namin kayo dito and then we are just going to conduct a research. May mga series of questions po kami. Yan, So that's quasi-experimental. And then finally, the last example of a quantitative research design is experimental research. Okay? Like quasi-experimental, it is used to establish the cause and effect relationship of two or more variables, and the designs provide a more conclusive result because it uses random assignments of subjects and experimental manipulations. So, ito, 100% you are going to do an experiment. Okay? Example, a comparison of the effects of various blended learning to the reading comprehension of elementary pupils. Is this experimental? Yes. Why? Because you have groups of pupils, group of students. And then, ang gagawin mo, mag-a-apply ka sa kanila ng iba't ibang blended learning and reading comprehension strategies. Ano-ano ba yung mga magiging epekto sa kanila? And you are going to compare the effects. Ay, ito bang learning strategy na to gumana? Mas naging magaling ba siya magbasa? Ito ba nung ginamit natin, hindi siya masyadong kasing galing nung isa? So on and so forth. You have test subjects. Okay? So all of these things are examples of quantitative research. So there you have it. I hope you have learned something from our first discussion of the first module of practical research 2. For more videos like this, you can go ahead and check my playlists. I have many lectures from different business subjects. And then you can also catch me on the following social media platforms. And with that, thank you so much for continuously supporting, watching, and to God be all the glory. See you on our next discussion.
Sa isa naman, na isa. Practical.
Alright, good day everyone who is watching this. This is again your practical research teacher, Jason Santos. No? So we are going to continue the discussion of practical research 2. We are already in module 2 for Q1, and this would involve identifying the inquiry and stating the problem. So again, if you're new to the channel, I would just like to reiterate and get your confidence that what I'm teaching is something that I really know, and I have been teaching for a long time. In fact, I have published my own research. And there, here are some of the achievements, places, if you will, no, that I was able to accumulate in the field of research. So, and everything that we will be discussing is based in milks. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so you would be informed on all of my uploads, particularly in the practical research. No? I have tons of content. Meron din ako mga toy content which you will be seeing. Disregard nyo na lang yun. Ano? But anyways, to the subject of the matter, identifying the inquiry and stating the problem. So within this module, there are 6 major topics that we will be discussing. And then I will try to discuss this as condensed, clear, and summarized. Ano? Kasi I am sure that you already have your modules and this is already being discussed to you by your teachers. But the reason why you are on this video watching right now is that there might be some questions in your mind or medyo nalilito kayo ng part. Ano. Now, if this is going to be a long discussion, just go ahead and skip the parts that you already know. You can go to the specific part na hinahanap nyo, just look at my sections down in the description. So you will be taken to whichever part of the discussion you wish to go. Okay, so we have designing research topic, the research title, background of research, the research questions, scope and delimitation of the study, presenting the statement of the problem. So designing research topic. No? So we have learned from module 1 that the quantitative research is very useful in all fields. And because of its objectivity and fast data collection and analysis, the different kinds of research designs, na pag-aralan na natin yan ano, sa first practical research. Okay? So, if you can see, there is a questionnaire about the topics that interest you. In fact, I have made a separate video about this. I'm flashing it right now in the recommendation. You can see it here. If you would like to watch that in-depth discussion, you can check that out. But for this video, since marami tayong pag-uusapan, I'll just breeze through this. So, this is an activity that is embedded in the module that will help you identify ano bang topic yung bagay para sa akin. And when you answer all of these questions, like what I will be showing you in that video, we've tried answering this set of questions, and then from here we were able to draw some titles. We were able to make several titles. So yeah, now we have an ICT student who is excelling at programming, English, animation, and then yung things that makes him or her happy would be anime, music, games, the basketball, and drawing. And then three things that he or she finds interesting is animation, crypto gaming, and design. So from all of these things, we were able to get ideas, and then yung ideas na yon can be turned into so later on in our discussion, you will understand bakit importante na kilala ninyo yung sarili ninyo, or you know what your interests are in before you take this research. Kasi malaking bagay if you are interested in the topic that you will be researching, which later on i-explain natin yan. So ito yung mga titles na nagawa natin: crypto gaming, the future of basketball games, adopting the cryptocurrency design. So that's a good title. Digital imaging, how it shapes modern industries, internet gambling and its bad effects to Filipinos, animated comics and the future of digital reading, internet security and hacking problems with digital music platforms. So yun, So here are some of the topics that we were able to generate based from the questions that we have answered. So another way for you to come up with a title is to do a preliminary research or offline survey na pwede mong gawin within your community, have people answer ano ba yung mga problem na gusto nilang mabigyan ng solutions, and then from there you will be able to create or generate ideas. Ano ba mga magagandang research topics? So again, these are general activities that you can do in order to come up with a research idea in a research title. So since this was explained in my previous video, again, mabilis lang yung ginawa natin dito. So when you develop a research topic, let's go here. I want you to think or adopt the principle of the blue ocean. In fact, there is a book about it which is called the Blue Ocean Strategy. Ano mang ibig sabihin nun? When you see an ocean, it looks endless, parang wala siyang hanggan. Lalo na kapag nakapag-travel ka na, let's say pumunta ka ng Batangas, pumunta ka ng Palawan, and then you're in the middle of the sea, hindi mo na makita yung next na island or yung next na lupa, it looks endless, and with the concept of blue ocean strategy, it eliminates some of people's thinking, kasi this is a fly-in business, na parang when I think of a research, meron nang gumawa nun eh. Paano kaya yun, sir? Meron nang gumawa ng ganito na topic. Meron na pong sumulat ng ganitong research. Okay? Adopt a concept of blue ocean strategy. So ano ba yun? Despite the advancement in knowledge and technology, there is still a lot of things to be discovered. So yun yung isipin mo. No, clear your mind. Wala na, hindi ko na matatapos tong research kasi lahat na naiisip ko common na eh. Ginugol ko, meron nang gumawa nun. Yes, that's true, but no, you can still explore a lot of things even for topics that are already made or common. No? So, developing a research problem can be done within these 4 steps. No? So first, you choose a broad topic. Pili ka muna ng topic na malawak. No? You do a preliminary research, okay? Define the problem, and then refine the question. So, tingnan natin isa-isa yung 4 steps na yun in developing research topic. So, first, you choose a broad topic. Now, ito yung isa sa mga gusto kong i-clarify kasi yung mga teachers, they are telling students na when you create a research topic or create a title, you need to be specific. Totoo yun, walang problem about it. In fact, I'm telling my students about it as well. However, when you start, you have to start broad. So you have to think of it na parang pyramid siya na inverted. Or, sorry, pyramid. Magsisimula ka sa baba, which is broad, and then as you go upwards, mas magiging specific siya. Okay? The goal is to create a specific title and a highly specific research, but you have to start somewhere broad, malawak muna. And then, through researching, through the survey, through the assistance of your professor, and the panel, marerefine siya ng marerefine hanggang sa maging specific research na siya. So, don't worry about having a broad topic. And then, choose an interesting topic. This is tied to our first activity, which is all about you. Ano yung interests mo? What makes you happy? Where do you excel? Bakit important yun? If you're not interested in a specific topic, you will not be motivated to finish your research. Practically speaking lang yun. Kapag hindi ka interesado sa isang bagay, wala kang, kumbaga pag mga panahon na tinatamad ka, you cannot find motivation or parang ano pa ba yung reason ko to continue this, hindi ako interested. And worse, pumili kayo ng research topic later on, halfway through the semester, saka nyo naisip, parang ayoko na lang pala to, kasi hindi ko siya gusto. You're really not interested in the topic, pero just because hindi kailangan natin makapag-submit eh. Nag-submit na lang kayo ng isang title na hindi nyo naman gusto. Right? So that's going to be a problem. So first off, start from your interest. Kung saan ka interesado. Okay? Select a significant topic. So when we talk of significance, meron siyang ambag, meron siyang sense. Meron siyang, sabi nga natin, dulot. A topic that is worth researching. Okay? Must be able to solve problems. Yung research mo, meron siyang contribution sa community. Na kapag ka na-pursue yung research mo, marami ang magbe-benefit. Okay? No one will be interested in your topic if it's obsolete, kung luma na siya, like we are already. Tapos ang gusto mo pang aralin is yung luma na, unless you are probably in the field of history, ibang case yun. But for modern science and all, it has to be new. If it does not address any real problem, wala namang problem, gusto mo lang siyang i-research, yes, interested ka. Walang question doon, However, yung interest mo, tie it to a certain problem para magkaroon ng significance yung research mo. Okay? And then of course, ito, nabanggit ko na to time and time again, even in the previous practical research one discussion. choose a topic relevant to your field. So kung ikaw ay ABM, you have to go to a business topic. ICT, computer-related topics or technology. STEM, science and technology. Humanities and social science, of course, social sciences, community, dapat ganun yung topic mo. Hindi yung ABM ka, is all about science and technology. No? Hindi kaya vice versa. Kakaiba kasi yun eh. So, again, you have to make sure that your research is related to whichever field you are currently assigned on or you are pursuing. So, do a preliminary research. Take time to read some more articles, journals, related research studies, and then find out how other researchers gather their data. Okay? So, sa research, hindi talaga natin maiwasan yan. You really have to read. No? Hindi pwede yung tamad ka magbasa or ayaw mo. Kaya nga research eh. No? Research. No? You are looking deep into a certain subject or a question, trying to find answers, trying to make sense. No? Hindi pwede yung nagre-research ka pero wala kang binabasa, wala kang kahit nga panoorin na lang eh, no? You're watching a documentary, you're watching somebody explain, kagaya ng ginagawa nyo ngayon, nanonood kayo on an explanation about a research module, no? Kailangan, hindi pa pwede yung you are just going to rely on existing knowledge. Hindi research yun if it's just a reliance on an existing subject. No? So, never, sabi nga nila, di ba, never test how deep is the water with both of your feet. No? Yung parang gusto mong malaman kung gaano kalalim, tapos parehong paa mo, ilulublog mo, malalaglag ka nun, ano? Normally, no, a normal person would just use 1 feet kung gusto niyang itest kung gaano kalalim yung isang body of water. Right? So, anong ibig sabihin ng idiomatic expression na yan? Ano? Meron kang interest, meron kang gustong i-research. Pero hindi ka nag-conduct ng preliminary research. Ano yung preliminary research? Maybe asking people question, o di kaya meron kang, sa field namin, tinatawag namin yan na needs analysis, needs assessment. Now, for example, pumunta kami sa isang barangay, okay? Gusto namin silang bigyan ng pangkabuhayan ng mga projects, na pangkabuhayan na livelihood activities, livelihood technology, okay? Hindi kami pupunta doon sa isang barangay bringing something na, na-invento namin na isang food cart, dadalhin namin dito sa barangay nyo, gamitin niyo yan. Eh what if kung yung barangay na yon hindi sila consumers of food from a food cart or hindi nagmamatch doon sa gusto naming i-introduce to technology? It's a waste of time, waste of effort, no? Sayang lahat, no, ng mga resources na ginamit. Okay? So, what do? You test the waters first, no? Kaya nga, for example, ano, kung dati nagpunta ka ng grocery, di ba may makikita kayong free taste na may papataste sa'yo hotdog o di kaya juice. And then from the perceptions of the people or yung reaction nila, yung feedback nila, at saka iisipin ng isang company whether to pursue pushing this product in the market or no. Okay? Lahat ng produkto nagdadaan ng sa tinatawag nating market research. Okay? O di kaya free makeup test. I don't know yung exact term, ano. Pero you go to Watson's na meron silang, pwede mo siyang i-test ng libre. Tapos hihingi nila yung feedback. What can you say about that makeup? No? Nagustuhan mo ba siya or hindi? Pag maganda, positive yung response, feedback ng mga tao, then it's a good sign for the company to push through with the product. Okay? So, ganun din ang research. Okay? Meron ka naisip na idea, baka mamaya yung idea mo, ikaw lang ang nakakaisip no? Hindi naman pala siya significant for your community, hindi siya significant for the country, so on and so forth. Okay? So, hindi natin dinidiscount yung idea ninyo. No? Lahat tayo merong magagandang ideas. However, you have to put it to the test or do a preliminary research para malaman mo baka mamaya mas ma-improve pa nila yung research idea mo. Okay, or baka obsolete na siya, hindi na siya relevant for our current time. Number 3, define the problem. Okay, so after getting enough information, you may be able to list some questions or problems that you want to research at this stage. So you should be able to narrow into feasible and manageable research question. So yung problem mo, you are now starting to put more emphasis and try to make it more specific. Okay? Like for example, ang topic mo is about drug abuse. Okay? So drug abuse, it's a broad topic. Okay? Then you ask a lot of questions. What when you say drug, what is it? Is it alcohol addiction? Is it illegal drugs? Is it over-the-counter drugs? Okay? Ano ba yung demographic profile ng tao? Ano yung age? What's the gender? Ano ba yung social class niya? Mayaman ba siya? Mahirap? Bakit siya nag-take ng drug? May psychological issue ba siya? Is it environmental factor na ano siya? What do you call this? Parang na-influensyahan siya ng barkada niya, no? Is the person an athlete? Kasi minsan yung athlete, they're taking performance-enhancing drugs, right? Huh? O di kaya naramdaman yan, common addiction yan for athletes. So, hindi ko nilalahat, pero yung, what do you call this, yung reliance on painkillers. Sa US, may mga ganun silang problem. Painkiller reliance. So, family problems, depression, baka mamaya sa bahay marami siyang issues, tapos ginagawa niya na lang escape yung drugs kasi parang pagka nagtitake siya nun, dun siya limot ng kanyang mga problema, or may depression, may pinagdadaanan yung tao. So, again, all of these things are narrowing down. No? Kumbaga mayroon kang funnel. Okay? Sinasala mo, no? Through questioning and all. Tapos, after all of these things have been done, nalaman mo na yung original topic ko, which is drug abuse, na ging mas specific na siya na drug abuse brought about by depression. So, yan. Specific topic na yun. So, number 4, you refine the question. So, nagawa na natin yung steps 1, 2, 3, and then, you refine the question. In this step, it lets you evaluate the question formulated. What specific question should you ask? How should you gather your data sufficient to answer the question? So, nakuha mo na lahat ng information na kailangan mo. Now, what you will be doing is you are going to refine the question. So, pwedeng ikaw ang mag-refine, pwedeng kang magpatulong sa teacher mo, no? Papalitan niyo yung mga words, mas specific words, mas specific context, so on and so forth. So, yan. Now, let's proceed to number 2. So, naalaman na natin ganina, no, yung topic overall. Now, you have the title. And then, meron tayong activity earlier wherein you will be able to create your own title. Pinakita ko sa inyo kanina. So, an interesting and relevant quantitative research topic. So, meron ka ng topic in mind related to your chosen track. Next is to have a suitable and captivating title. No? Take note of the word na used now, that was used, captivating title. Okay? Kasi tatandaan natin, sabi nga natin, first impressions last. Okay? If sa title pa lang, hindi mo na-attract yung target readers mo or target viewers mo, target respondents mo, what makes you think na babasahin pa nila yung buong research mo kung yung title nga hindi na nagustuhan din? Right? O di kaya yung title mo hindi specific, magulo, no? O di kaya yung title mo hindi makuha yung interest ng audience, right? So, make sure that your title is concise description. Just put out my highlighter, no? Adequate to describe the contents of the paper. We do not want to mislead the readers. Yan yung bagay na wag natin gagawin. Few words. Diba, meron nga tayong statement. KISS. Keep it short and simple, no? So, dapat ganun yung paggawa natin ng title, right? And then after conceptualizing most probable research topic, drafting the title early in the research process helps in keeping your focus on the subject. And then there's something that I would like to reiterate, ano? Ang research title, pwedeng mabago yan. Ha? Kumbaga, kasi ako, I'm also handling college research. No? May mga students na kahit final defense na, nababago pa rin yung research title nila. And minsan, it could either mean na kailangan mong baguhin majority of your research or it could just be a minor change. Okay? Now, what I would like to emphasize here is that do not be disheartened or wag kang mawalan ng pag-asa if the title keeps on changing. Ano? Kasi yun talaga yung yun yung the purpose of having it subjected to the lens, no, and criticisms of your teachers, the panel, even peers and all. No? Hanggang sa ma-produce mo yung final title, no? Don't think na what you have right now is already your final title. Okay? Isipin mo that it is still subject to change. Pwede siyang mabago. Pwede pa rin siyang mapalitan. Okay? So, basic guidelines in writing a research title, ano, ito, major, guidelines lang ito, no? So, use an accurate description of the subject, so it has to be specific. Do not abbreviate. No, like for example, yung title mo, nakalagay DNA, ICT, blah, blah, blah. Do not assume na lahat ng tao ay alam kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng DNA. Like, sir, DNA, very common na yan. Ano? For you, yes, you can say that. But, paano kung yung babasa ng research mo, first time pa lang niya makita yung salitang DNA? Ano ang ibig sabihin ng DNA? Did not answer? Nucleic acid? Or kung ano bang ibig sabihin yan, right? So, if you have words, do not abbreviate them. Sulat mo siya ng buo. Okay? Do not include words like the study of, the analysis of, an investigation of. Bakit? Redundant yun eh. No? Gawa mo eh. You are already studying. You are already analyzing. Nag-investigate ka na. Bakit kailangan mo pang ilagay sa title, right? Ano na yun eh. Redundant yun. Inuulit mo lang. This is already a research. No need for you to put the study of, the analysis of, the investigation of, or any similar words pertaining to research. Under
Salamat lang. Salamat sa naka-BG po. Papasok na ako school. Salamat.